So we have the beautiful skin side of the salmon. There's going to be scales there that we want to remove, and the easiest way to do that is with a fork. And I'm going to do it in the sink because it tends to get a little bit messy. All the scales are going to be jumping all over and we don't want to make a mess where we are cooking. So we're going to move to the sink and we're going to gently strike with the fork against the grain of the scales. Now they're going to be jumping off a little bit, but we really want to make sure that we remove every single bit. Slightly tedious job, but the results will be incredible. And when you don't get all the scales off, they will harden up, they will toughen. It won't be nice crisp, it will be kind of difficult to chew. So it will be worth to just take your time and gently remove all the scales, especially on the sides where it's easy to forget. Don't want to use any water because what we're trying to do is remove as much moisture from the skin as possible. So when we're cooking it, the skin crisps up. The wetter it is, the more hard it will become to actually get the skin crispy, and at some point we would overcook the fish, which is obviously something that we don't want. There we go. Now I'll just use the knife to check and make sure all the scales are gone. So we want to do long strokes. First we go one direction, trying to catch, and we go the other direction against the grain. You can really see it open up. That's where you're going to find those last ones that we don't want in. Now there's a little bit of black coming off the skin. It's the color of the skin, but it's also moisture. So I really want to scrape it out and make the skin as dry as possible. You can really see how there is still moisture coming off the skin. So we keep gentle strokes. We don't force too much. We don't want to damage the flesh. We just want to make it as clean as possible. We have a beautifully prepared skin that once it hits the pan, it's going to be perfectly crisp and really delicious. And we're going to portion our salmon. It's a beautiful big loin. Going to cut it in two, make two real perfect portions. It's going to fill the plate and fill the palate. So we'll get a pan nice and hot. You can use a non-stick if you're at home and feel a little bit more confident about that. Doesn't really matter. These are stainless steel on the inside. You need a little bit more frying oil to make sure that it doesn't stick. We're going to season the salmon all the way around, making sure we coat the sides, the skin, the bottom. Now here we're gonna have to really make sure that the pan gets hot. If it's really way too cold, the skin is going to stick and we're gonna lose that beautiful crispy skin to the pan. It's gonna have a little bit of oil in there and we're just gonna wait till that perfect moment. Keeping the fish nicely oiled up, and really important, not wet. If your skin is wet or the meat is wet, it's going to stick and there's nothing that you can really do about it. Now a good way to test if your pan is hot is to drop a tiny drop of water. When you see that it is going like that, then we know that we are at the right point and we can add our salmon. I'm going to move that a tiny bit and we're going to press it down. The skin is going to tense up and it's going to form a little bubble in the middle. And if we don't press it down a tiny bit, it's going to stick and it's not going to be crispy in the middle. The outside are going to burn, but the inside is going to remain soft. So I want to push very gently down. If you find any scales, just take them away, very gently, keeping it on the skin side. So we're going to do most of the cooking on the skin side. We really want to get the skin crispy and stir it on. And once we turn it over, it's only gonna need a minute or two until it is perfectly cooked. Gonna keep the oil swirling around, making sure that it has good contact with all the skin parts on the side, in the middle. That is gorgeous like that. And then we check and make sure that we're not burning it. We want to have good heat under here, but not too much, because we want to make sure that the skin doesn't burn before it turns crispy. So the heat management is really quite important. I'm here at medium heat, let's say, but I'm happy to turn it down. Now we have the heat in, the pan is sizzling. We're gonna take our time and really take care of that skin side. You can lift it up a tiny bit, make sure that the oil reaches all the parts of the skin, because that is where it gets nice and crispy. Then we slowly cook 3-4 minutes at least on the skin side, and once we turn it over, it probably only needs 1 or 2. Now when you look at the salmon here, we can see that the cooking is starting to reach pretty much halfway. That is also when we know that the skin is going to be pretty nice and crisp, and that it's almost time to turn it over. So we want to be really, really gentle and turn it over nicely. And there you can see this skin is really nice and hard. It's going to be crisp and delicious. Exactly where we want to be. Now we want to use the oils from the pan, bath the fish a little bit, making sure that it doesn't dry out. And then we'll turn the heat off, because there's enough residual heat in the pan to cook this fish through. And we want to bring up the temperature gently. If we're too hot and too much heat, then it's going to dry out and it's going to shrink together. We're going to lose all that beautiful moisture from the inside. So once we turn it over, we're going to leave it in the pan. That heat is going to transfer to the middle very nice and gently. You can see on the sides it's cooked all the way through. It's going to be a tiny bit pink on the inside. And that is exactly what we want. We don't want to overcook the salmon either. With fish it's very easy to overcook and you're going to lose the real beauty of the product. We want to make sure that we cook it gently to the inside, not too hard, not too quick, and then serve right away. So you really have, when you bite into it, that the juices are still flowing out.